In 2003, a young girl embarked on a plane journey with a stranger. 15 years down the road, an extraordinary event unfolded. Traveling alone as a child can be a daunting experience, but imagine the fear of flying from one country to another entirely by yourself. For a young girl, this would become an unimaginable situation. At the tender age of 5, she was entrusted to the care of a total stranger during an international flight, leaving her mother in Africa and setting course for the United States. She had to place her trust in a man she had never met, a leap of faith that would lead to an incredible story spanning 2 continents, unveiling one girl's remarkable journey of self-discovery. At just 5 years old, Maya Hughes was no stranger to international travel. While she had spent her early years in Sierra Leone, West Africa, with her mother, Zainab, they eventually relocated to the United States in pursuit of a brighter future. However, as time passed, Zainab began to long for her extended family, prompting her to plan a 6-month trip back to West Africa with Maya in 2003. Regrettably, this journey would be cut short. 4 months into their stay, Maya fell seriously ill. Given the limited medical facilities available in Sierra Leone, Zainab faced an agonizing choice: to send her daughter back to the United States for life-saving treatment. According to Maya, it was a matter of life and death, and her mother understood that returning home was her best chance at recovery. Compounding the difficulties, Zainab still had unresolved family matters demanding her presence in Sierra Leone, leaving her with no choice but to purchase a one-way ticket for her daughter and send her back to the United States unaccompanied. However, a significant hurdle stood in their way. While Maya was legally able to travel alone, international flights with numerous connections posed a challenge to their plan. What was the mother to do? Maya would need a chaperone to go with her, but would anyone be willing to help? Realizing her daughter's health was in jeopardy, and with no time to waste, Zainab headed to the airport and began asking strangers if they would be her daughter's escort. The mother had no other option, even if it meant entrusting Maya's safety to someone she didn't know. Of course, the people she approached all had their reasons why they wouldn't want to look after someone's daughter. Who would want that kind of responsibility? As time began to run out, Zainab approached a gate agent and asked them to point out any passengers who were flying back to the United States. There had to be someone who would help her out, right? The gate agent pointed out a solo white man standing in the corner. She revealed to the desperate mother that he was traveling alone, and he would most likely be her best option. Nervous and unsure, Maya's mother approached the man, hoping he wouldn't reject her. After asking the man for his help, he initially refused, revealing to Zainab that he was not emotionally stable enough to take care of Maya. He told my mom he was in no mental state to travel with a minor because he had just lost his grandmother, Maya revealed on Twitter. However, the man realized the mother was desperate, even though he didn't know her and was flying back for his grandmother's funeral. He agreed to watch over Maya. Zainab knew sending her daughter on a plane with a man she didn't know was risky. But what other choice did she have? Immediately, Zainab booked Maya on the man's flight and hastily sent her goodbye. She then watched the man take her daughter's hand and board the plane. It was an emotional moment for the mother as she watched the plane take off with her only child. All of a sudden, the adrenaline kind of went away, and I realized, oh my God, I just handed my only child at the time to a complete stranger, she revealed in the Huffington Post. However, the time for regrets had passed. She had to believe the man would honor his word and keep her daughter safe. Terrified and alone, Maya began her journey with the strange man from Africa to the United States. The traveling pair would make a variety of connections, stopping in multiple countries along the way. Thankfully, the man had help when it came to his babysitting duties. After revealing his peculiar situation, the flight attendants all pitched in on every flight to make their journey as comfortable as possible. The man and Maya even received first-class meals to ensure they were well-fed throughout their incredibly long journey. Despite being only 5 at the time, Maya remembers the day well and the chaos that came with it. I just remember crying a lot on the plane, she told the Huffington Post. I remember him trying to calm me down, that's all I remember. Really, just him trying to calm me down on the plane. Maya also remembers the man singing to her on the flight in her native tongue of Creole. Even though she was screaming and crying, he tried to keep her calm in a tough situation. Unfortunately, the journey was simply too traumatizing for the young girl to settle down. After a series of long flights, Maya and her adult companion would finally arrive at Dulles International Airport, just outside of Washington, D.C. Thankfully, there was a familiar face waiting for the distraught child when they arrived, her grandmother. Maya and her mother's separation would last just over a month before they were reunited back in the United States. The topic of the man who had helped them was a regular topic of conversation in their home throughout the years. For Maya, it was easy to give her mother a hard time about sending her off with a complete stranger. "I always gave my mom a hard time because he was a complete stranger, and it was risky," she told BuzzFeed News. Thankfully, the man had honored his word and nothing had happened, but the situation could have ended very differently. As the years passed, both Maya and her mother questioned the identity of the man who had helped them. The story of Maya's journey was often told to family members and friends, and this eventually led Maya's cousin to discover the identity of the man who had helped her so many years prior. According to her cousin, she had heard the same type of story from one of her coworkers back in West Africa. Unfortunately, Maya didn't get much more in terms of information since she and her cousin lost touch. However, years later, that would all change. When Maya's cousin decided to visit the United States, she brought up the story again, asking Zainab, "Did you ever track down Tom Perriello?" And I said, "Who's that?" Then the truth was revealed. According to the cousin, Tom Perriello was a colleague and the man who watched over Maya when she flew to the United States all those years ago. Zainab and Maya were beyond shocked. They embarked on a mission to locate him and eventually stumbled upon his email address. Zainab composed a heartfelt email to express her profound gratitude for his assistance in safeguarding her daughter during their journey. In case he had forgotten the details, she provided a comprehensive account of their shared experience. It was an unusual email to craft, and she offered apologies if it had reached the wrong person. But she hoped, above all, that he would value her gratitude. After patiently awaiting a response for several days, Zainab received an email from Tom confirming his identity. Since his time with Maya, Tom had pursued a successful career in politics, serving in the Obama administration as a State Department envoy. For Perriello, the experience of bringing Maya to the United States from Africa had felt like a surreal movie scene. He had recently suffered the loss of his grandmother and was en route for her funeral when a stranger approached him, requesting his care for her child. It's an incredibly vivid memory that seems something like out of a movie. It just wasn't clear if it was a happy or sad movie. There was some serious drama on each leg of the trip, as there should have been under the circumstances, but we worked with the officials and some angels at the airlines to make sure Maya got home safely to her grandmother's care. Perriello told the media, "One of the happier moments in my life was seeing Maya run to her grandmother's arms." Maya's mother's revelation about re-establishing contact with their enigmatic savior from years past prompted Maya to share their incredible story on social media. She wrote, "For 15 years, my mom has been tirelessly searching for this man, without a name or any details." Her tweet resonated with many, garnering numerous retweets. Upon receiving her mother's email, the compassionate stranger vividly recalled their shared history. He affirmed his enduring memory of Maya and the songs he had attempted to sing in Creole, sharing this touching tale with his family. Maya's tweet soon went viral, captivating the hearts of social media users worldwide. Even Perriello joined the conversation, expressing his delight at her radiant life. Both Maya and this kind-hearted individual held a shared hope of reuniting one day, adding a heartwarming conclusion to their story.